Hello guys, my name is Gabrielle Tabalin. I wanted to reach out to you guys and send you my video, kind of talk to you about myself and my experience as a designer. I not always have been a fashion designer, so I'm going to share your story, how I got to this place where I'm at and what I do as a fashion designer. I haven't always been a fashion designer. I started out when I was young, my passion for fashion. My mom used to be a shopaholic, so she would take me with her to the store with her, and she would just always be looking for the latest deals. And I was at a really young age at that time, so I really was curious about how garments are made. I would spend most of my time with her in the stores looking at all of the garments and how they were made, looking at all of the edges, and I just would wonder, like, who would make all this clothes? I would ask her, Mom, who makes all these clothes? Where do they come from? I'd be so intrigued by it. And so it started at a young age, about when I was 2 years old. And she would just giggle. She would laugh at me and tell me, oh, they're made by people in a factory. And in my head, all I thought was, oh, it's a magical factory that puts clothes together somewhere. I wasn't too sure exactly what she meant by they came from a factory. So about 7 years old, we moved into a house where we lived. One of our neighbors, I found out she knew how to sew, so I quickly became obsessed with her, and I would spend all of my time during that one summer just learning as much as I could from her. She taught me how to crochet, she taught me how to read patterns, she taught me how to sew with the sewing machine, how to thread a sewing machine, and she also taught me how to do embroidery the old school way, by hand, one stitch at a time. And so I spent most of my summer putting embroidery on all of my family's pillowcases, just making sure everyone had handkerchiefs with embroidery on it, something pretty for themselves. After that summer, I kind of fell out of the sewing interest, and we moved out of the place where we were living. At about 11 years old, my parents got a divorce, and I kind of fell out of interest with everything. After the divorce, I kind of started hanging out with the wrong crowd. Around 15 years old, I had my first child, and I was a young mother. I never thought I'd be able to come back to fashion. I had 3 kids by the time I was 19 years old. When I was pregnant with our 3rd kid, 8 months pregnant, my husband at the time, he had died, and so I was widowed at 19 with 3 kids. And at the time, I was working on my GED and trying to better my life. And so the woman who taught the GED classes so happened to be a college professor, and she just always encouraged me, like, go to college, go to college, go to college. And I just followed what she told me, and she believed in me. And so I ended up going to school for nursing, and I almost finished, and I quickly realized I wasn't happy. I didn't want to be around all the sick people and people dying. It just was not what I wanted to do, and it was really just sad for me. I was sad for the families and sad for the people, and I didn't like it. So I ended up dropping out of nursing school, and I didn't graduate doing that. So I took the money that I had saved from working, and I opened my own boutique in Grand Junction, Colorado. I ended up building a salon in the back, so the girls who would rent out booths for me were not only paying my rent, but they were also bringing in clients into the shop. So it was a pretty good, sweet deal. It worked out for a little while there, and I loved it. I loved what I did, but I just got really burnt out very quickly managing everything on my own. And I really didn't have any retail experience beforehand, and I just kind of winged it, and I just didn't have all the answers to what I was doing or what I should have been doing at the time. So I just figured out, I want to really go back to school, and I want to get my degree and keep my promise to my professor. So at the time, I ended up selling everything in the store, and I shut it down. I packed all my stuff up, and I packed my kids up, and I moved here to Denver, Colorado. I moved very close to downtown. I actually live almost right across the street from the Broncos Stadium, which is awesome. They have some pretty good games, and there's a lot of traffic through here. Also, the school I went to, the Art Institute, is only 7 minutes away, so it was really easy for me to get back and forth from school and to my house very quickly, so I wasn't in traffic or having to commute a lot of hours. So I finished school at the Art Institute. I did about 4 years in college and got my bachelor's degree in fashion design. During that time, I worked for a local furrier, and he's a master furrier. And during that time, I really got a lot of time to refine my skills. I learned a lot of things I wouldn't have learned during school or through school. He really knew a lot of techniques that took my skills to the next level. He taught me a lot about working with animal skins, leathers, crocodile skins, patterning. He taught me so much because it was all in tailoring. We did a lot of tailoring to specific clients, and some of the pieces we made sold for about $1,000 to all the way up to, I've seen people buy for $40,000 some of the pieces that we were making, and it was awesome. We got to travel. We went all over the world, went all over the United States, Vegas, Chicago, Nebraska. We just went everywhere selling the products that we made, and it was amazing. It really did give me a lot of skills that I was able to utilize, and I just loved it. Andres was amazing. He had contacts, he knew people, he did fashion shows, so we did a lot of stuff, and he still does a lot of things with the community. He makes beautiful, amazing furs. So after I graduated college, I got a call 3 days later from a company called Princess Paradise, and they manufacture and make small children's clothing. I'm going to show you a little bit of the work I did for them. I have this awesome little magazine that the graphic design team put together. The little donut girl was awesome. What they do, their company does, is they sell little girls, little toddler Halloween costumes, anything from kids to women's to men's. They mass produce it, and so I got hired on with their company to do all their pattern making. I was the lead pattern maker right out of school, and the reason was because I did 3 years of internship for Andreas doing tailored pieces, so I was able to pick up a lot of amazing skills. When I started with this company, it was all brand new, fresh to me. I was able to come in and get some amazing training from them on how pattern grading works. I worked closely with the sewing room, and within about 3 months, I was able to help flat pattern, prototype, digitize, and grade about 60 patterns from this book here. I'll just skim through it a little so you guys could see some of the things we did while I worked here. It was really neat. I loved it. It gave me the opportunity to kind of see mass production and how that works, and then working with licensing, because we did a lot of Marvel stuff, and they have all these different things that you have to do for specifications for children's clothing. It's completely different. The button size, the little pirate here, that one was one of my favorites. It's so cute, the little devil. We did a lot of stuff for toddlers this year. So my family and I relocated from Denver to Fort Collins so I could work for this company. That steampunk dress right there was one of my favorites. I designed it and made it, and it was really awesome. So I worked for that company for about a year, being their lead pattern maker, and it was really cool. I learned a lot of stuff about licensing, children's regulations, working with a team. It was just really fun, but at the end of the day, my children and I weren't happy living there, so I only stayed there for about a year, and I ended up packing back up and coming back here to Denver. So now at 33, I own my own swimwear slash dancewear company, and I've been doing that. So I make a living off doing that. I make custom pieces for dancers. I make custom pieces for models. Anything, like if they have photo shoots and they have an idea, they come to me and we sit down and we talk about what that idea looks like and what they want. So I kind of take it through the whole process where I sketch something out, we talk about it, they choose their fabrics, and then I make them a custom piece tailored to what they want for their photo shoot or for their performances, which has been amazing. It's been so much fun. I also am a volunteer at the Denver Design Center here. It's an amazing place powered by Ralph's Sewing Company. It's right up the block from me. It's also across the other side from the Broncos Stadium, which is pretty cool. It's very close. It's like a huge circle. So I'm very fortunate. I'm able to have a home studio, which I work out of long hours of the night, and I also produce inside of the design center. They've been able to help me really take my company to the next step. They do also give me, when times are slow for me, they give me a lot of companies to make prototypes for. So I will produce pieces for other companies, and as well as make prototypes for them, just to keep the money coming in. You know, Denver's not a really huge fashion industry place where people would think that there's fashion here, but there really is a huge community here. They do amazing fashion shows here, which I'm sure aren't really heard of around the world, because nobody would think Denver is huge, but there is a huge side of manufacturing. We have huge companies that make amazing things, and I've been able to help those companies make prototypes and have great companies that are running really good, and it's been an amazing journey for me. Being a fashion designer, I absolutely love what I do. I just think that right now I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, I have my own company. I need a little bit of a challenge of something else where I can work with other people and get out there and just say, hey, you know, Denver's here. We have a fashion industry. We have some amazing designers here. With that being said, I'm also working with a local company who is huge on supporting small businesses. It's called Shift Workspace, and they have about 300 offices in one building, which is amazing. I went to this crazy party one night, and I'm like, what is this place? I'm looking around, and I'm like, oh my God. So I got introduced to the owner, and they agreed to let me put on a fashion show, which I'm super excited, because now I'm producing a fashion show and I'm trying to set the standards for fashion industry here in Denver. There's been a lot of confusion of what the fashion industry should be, and it's really not that great. There's a lot of people trying to produce fashion shows here that are not doing it in the correct manner, in a professional manner, and I just really want to step outside of the box and be like, hey, you know, this can be done a different way, and it can be in a way where it's in a business manner, and you know, we're businesses, we're not a circus act, we're not here for entertainment, but it is entertaining, don't get me wrong, but we also need to make money off of what we do. Most of the money I do make does come from making custom pieces, and I know a lot of designers here in Denver don't really make a lot of money off of the pieces they make, because we don't really have the support of the community. So it's really important for me to connect Denver to the fashion design community, and just become a better designer, and just help other designers become better and have businesses that they can make money off of and enjoy what they do. I really hope that you guys could help me reach out and just get better known, and get some better skills and meet people I may have not ever come across, especially living in Colorado, because there are so little opportunities here for people like myself who are designers, who have degrees. There's not really that many companies here, so when there is a company, we're all fighting for the same jobs, or we're all trying to become entrepreneurs on our own. So I think that Project Runway would really help me become a good designer in that type of a way. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. Thank you so much for watching my submission. I hope that you guys all appreciate my video. Have a good one. Bye.